A long list of absentees for Everton. David Weir, Peter Clark, Wayne Rooney and Duncan Ferguson are all suspended. Alan Stubbs and Kevin Campbell are both injured. David Moyes, in fact, had only 16 senior players to choose from, so this team more or less picked itself. Franny Jeffers might have been a candidate to replace Campbell in attack, but having just recovered from a back problem, he's named on the subs bench.
As you know, I've just been talking Spurs. There's certainly been a bit of a bogey side for Everton over the years, but David Moyes' team do have the incentive that a win will take them level on points. Certainly found it harder this season after finishing 7th last. And I think because of injuries and suspensions, they've had to change the back four around, which is never helpful when you're trying to get that sort of consistency. It's a very workmanlike midfield four who will try to press and close Spurs down, and then trying to get the ball very quickly to the front two. There's certainly Radzinski with his pace, and McFadden with his trickery will look to take defenders on at every opportunity.
A major blow for Spurs is the loss of Ledley King, who stayed behind in London for treatment on a hip injury. Also out is Mauricio Taricco, who has a thigh problem, so 20-year-old Irishman Stephen Kelly makes only his 5th appearance in the first team. Welsh international Simon Davis returns in midfield. He's missed 5 games with a shin problem, and Jamie Redknapp plays despite the facial wound he suffered against Chelsea.
Well, only 2 clean sheets in the last 21 games, and they've only scored 1 goal in the last 5, so statistics that don't really make great reading if you're a Spurs fan. It'll be a test again tonight for the goalkeeper in the back four against a team which will get at them from the off. So for me, it's crucial that they survive the first 30 minutes. You know, you look at that midfield four on the front two, it's blessed with a lot of quality. So it's actually amazing that they've struggled of late. But David Pleat has certainly been in the business for a lot of years, and he'll have the belief that these players can overcome this recent blip. Well, you tend to forget that Robbie Keane is only 23. Spurs is his 5th club. Top scorer this season, 14 goals, but he hasn't scored for 5 games. So you think he's due one tonight. But if he's not scoring, though, he's still a problem. He's busy, he's bright, he always keeps defenders on their toes, and he's always a threat. And he's always looking to get in behind defenders and creating opportunities for his teammates, like we've just seen there for Canute.
Well, it's been a strange season for these Everton fans. It started full of optimism after the major improvement of last season when they were so close to a European qualifying place for the first time in over 20 years, but it's descended into another anxious scramble to pull clear of the relegation battle. Everton just 6 points above the bottom 3 after going 3 games without a win, and David Moyes was very critical of his team's defending in their 4-2 defeat at Newcastle last week. The Everton manager believes that 6 points over the Easter period would be enough to guarantee their survival. After tonight's game, they're away to Leeds next Tuesday before a daunting trip to face Chelsea at Stamford Bridge 5 days later. Well, not just Everton, but Spurs won't be feeling too comfortable either until they've secured a few more points. They're actually only 2 places above Everton in the Premiership table, and because they have an inferior goal difference, then Everton would go above Tottenham if they win here tonight. Spurs, by the way, are at home to Manchester City on Easter Monday, and then they're back here in the northwest a week tomorrow to take on Bolton at the Reebok. Brian, it's certainly been a roller coaster season for Tottenham. Which way do you think it's going to go now?
Well, I think it has been difficult, and I don't think it's helped with this whole managerial situation in the background. As soon as that settles down, no doubt in the summer, and I'm sure that the players and everybody at Spurs will be relieved. You know, I just look at Everton and I look at their squad, and you know, they really can't afford to pick up injuries and suspensions and still get results. You know, you look tonight, they're without Stubbs, Weir, Campbell, Rooney, Ferguson, all big players, all experienced players that you need when you're struggling a little bit. And Spurs, I heard George talking earlier, you know, they need leadership. Jamie Redknapp has been out for the best part of the season. He can give them that leadership. Good player in the centre of the park. A lot of experience, a lot of ability, and they'll certainly be looking for him to hit the right sort of form between now and the end of the season.
A crowd of around 38,000 inside Goodison Park on this damp Good Friday evening. Everton's attendances have held up remarkably well, considering the disappointments their fans have had to suffer for most of this campaign. Great loyal following they have here, young and old alike. They can still remember The great days. Everton in the top 6 at this stage last season. 16 points more than they have at the moment. And as the famous Carr theme sounds around Goodison, two of the most famous clubs in English football prepare to do battle. 11 league championships and 13 FA Cups between them, these two. But as I mentioned, those glory days are a distant memory for Everton and Spurs, as they find themselves now in the wrong half of the Premiership, with the threat of relegation still hovering in the background. Everton have gone 3 without a win. Spurs have lost 3 in a row, and suddenly the league table makes uncomfortable reading. We're live for Everton against Tottenham. Just as well, he's a good-looking lad, isn't it? Jamie Redknapp had his mouth rearranged in an accidental collision with his own cousin, would you believe? Frank Lampard. That was in last week's game against Chelsea, but he plays tonight despite having 25 stitches in the wound, and after all the injuries Jamie suffered in his career, he wasn't going to let a little thing like that keep him out. Hardline referee Rob Stiles is tonight's man in charge. He's sent off more players than any other Premiership official this season. Wayne Rooney is one of those who's felt the rough end of a few referees' tongues this season. Consequently, he sits it out, still suspended. Spurs are unbeaten in their last 13 games against Everton, home and away, and they've drawn on each of their last 4 visits to Goodison Park. When the teams met at White Hart Lane in October, it finished 3-0 to Tottenham, with all the goals coming in a 6-minute spell either side of half-time. Everton it is who get us underway. Gravison pumping it long straight away. Doherty underneath it as Kilban challenged, and Tottenham get the first throw. Everton 14th, 34 points, 6 points above the relegation places. And as I mentioned, if they win, they'll go above Spurs on goal difference, and also above Bolton, who play at home to Aston Villa tomorrow. Here's McFadden, inviting Pistone to get forward. Not a bad cross either. It's come out to Gravison. He turned into trouble rather than away from it. Brown. Back to Stephen Carr. Well, that was a lovely little dummied ball let through there by Keane. Redknapp heads it back to the Irishman. Brown. Here's Carr again. Keane. Brown's given it away to Unsworth, who captains Everton tonight. And Doherty in first ahead of Rosiński. Difficult one there for Lindelof. Fadden challenged by the youngster playing at left back for Tottenham Hotspur tonight, Stephen Kelly. He's really a right back or a centre back, so he's very much out of position and very much a right-footed player. Very much in trouble here, and Rosiński on the end of the ball.
Well, very, very close. I talked at the top now. Everton really would start very quickly, get at Spurs. It's a fabulous ball by Stevie Watson, near post, and Rosiński finds the perfect run, gets across Doherty, but unfortunately for him, can't really steer his shot goal bounds, but he really is a threat. He's bright. I talked earlier about Robbie Keane and how quick and deceptive he can be. Well, Rosiński can do the same at the other end.
Stoney's header away. Kelly in again with Watson. It's going to be a big test for the youngster tonight. Spurs have won 11 of their 31 Premiership games so far. They've suffered 16 defeats. Only the bottom 2, Leeds and Wolves, have lost more games than Tottenham. They've drawn just 4. A bit bogged down on that left-hand side again. Everton's throw. Rosiński has sneaked in behind Gardner. Canadian international held it up well. A great ball in. McFadden on the end of it. Kilban's there too. It's a corner.
A superstar, isn't it, from Everton? It's that right-hand side again where the dangers come from. Just have a look at the run here from McFadden. He knows exactly where he wants that ball playing into. Radzinski delivers a perfect ball towards the near post.
Good take by Keller.
That's good early pressure, isn't it? And it's important Everton do start this way, because Spurs have been having a little bit of a tough time of late. And if there's any frailties there, then David Moyes' team have got to exploit those very early in this game. They can't afford to allow the likes of Jamie Redknapp, Robbie Keane, Jermaine Defoe to dictate matters.
Rabison looking for Radzinski again. Carr got in first. It dropped dangerously close to Radzinski. Davis has hardly had the touch of the ball on his return to the side. However, the whistle has gone for a challenge on Brown. Free kick to Spurs. They come here tonight off the back of 3 successive defeats in which they failed to score a single goal. They have only 1 win in their last 6 matches. Yobo under pressure from Brown. Stoney's header away. And Watson completed the clearance and indeed won the throw for Everton. Everton's defeated Newcastle, their first in 6 matches. They've won 2 and drawn 3. Victories against Aston Villa and Portsmouth. But since the turn of the year, they've only managed 2 wins in a dozen league games, Everton. Hence the fact they've slid down the table towards a rather too familiar position for them. In more than half of their Premiership seasons, they've fought a relegation battle. Naismith, play off by Radzinski to Kilban. Carr in quickly, but it's Kilban. He spotted Watson on the far post and almost picked him out. Brown's clearance, a difficult start this for Tottenham. They can't get hold of the ball at the moment. Yobo. Looking for Watson up against Kelly, but too much on that.
They started a very good tempo, haven't they, Everton? I know it's early days and Spurs will be hoping just to calm things down a little bit and just take the sting out of Everton's play. But the problem they've got at the moment, Spurs, is McFadden's just dropping a little bit deep. He's getting more closer to midfield, allowing Radzinski to almost play up front on his own at times, and that's giving Spurs a little bit of a problem. Not quite sure where to go and mark, particularly the 2 centre-backs, Gardner and Doherty.
Keane's layoff to his fellow Irishman Carr. Davis. There's Kelly. Oh, great challenge by Gravison. Gardner to Tottenham's rescue then. Here's Jermaine Defoe. I think it's his first touch of the ball and not a very good one. Yobo. Fadden's header. Gravison stretching, couldn't reach it. Now Ziga's given it away.
You know, for me, Alan, this is how Everton need to play to get results. No disrespect to them, but you know, they haven't got the quality of, say, a Tottenham Hotspur. What they've got is a lot of graft, a lot of endeavour. And if they're prepared to close down and work hard, then this is how they got results. This is how they got to 7th position in the Premier League last season.
Here's Carr. Davis. Uncertain layoff, intercepted by Kilban. Gravison. Now he's given it away to Simon Davis. Brown. Here's Carr. Davis down the right flank, Keane ahead of him. Gravison under pressure from Brown, loses out. Redknapp. Important challenge there by Naismith. It's turned defence into attack for Everton. Watson. Fadden in the middle, Radzinski down the right. And he went for goal. Splendid save by Keller. Couldn't have been expecting that.
I don't think anybody was expecting it. I think everybody thought Radzinski would just cut that ball back to McFadden, but once again a good move from Everton. It's that right-hand side, it's a real problem for Spurs. And Christian Ziga's got to do a better defensive job just in front of Stephen Kelly to protect the youngster.
And Everton have a free kick in a good position. Radzinski looking very sharp early on here. He scored 2 goals in his last 3 appearances against Tottenham. Home fans responding to the excellent start their side has made here. Yobo moving forward with Watson and Unsworth. They provide a Pretty big aerial challenge. Naismith it is who belts it in. Well, it was Pistone who came round the back, unseen by Tottenham's defenders. Kilban also in a threatening position.
It really has been a terrific start, hasn't it? And that man in particular has looked lively. But just have a look here. Where's Christian Ziege? He isn't tracking Stephen Watson. He's a good 10-15 yards behind him. It's a very careful and accurate ball by Watson. And this is where you're thinking, pull it back to McFadden. But no, he takes a shot on and he pulls out a save from Keller.
Here's Ziege. Going to feed it back to Keane. Yobo intercepts. Kilban. Kilban took a long time to get that ball under control, and Brown wasn't prepared to give him that kind of time.
It's been an uncomfortable time, hasn't it, for the midfield four of Spurs. Closing down by Watson, Linderoth, Gravison, Kilban. It's made it very difficult for the likes of Davies, Redknapp, Brown, Ziege to get their foot on the ball and just begin to knock little passes around and try to get the front two into the game. I haven't really seen an awful lot of Defoe or Keane.
Gravison's done brilliantly here and feeds Watson. Pistone thundering forward on the overlap, and here he is. Radzinski well placed, and he couldn't pick him out.
Well, that's where you're crying out for a bit of quality, aren't you? David Moyes must be totally frustrated. You know, there's 3 or 4 opportunities that Everton have got themselves into good positions. Again, perhaps a little cutback. You know, everybody's expecting the cross. You can see there the likes of Gravison and Watson on the edge of the box screaming for the ball, and Pistone, with his experience, really ought to be picking players out.
Here's Gardner. Looking to feed Defoe. Pistone intercepts and gets it back from Watson. Ziege did get a foot in this time. As a former Liverpool man, of course, he and Jamie Redknapp can expect a hot reception tonight. Keane to Davis. Just in behind Ziege. Kelly takes over. Now the German international again. That's a good ball for Keane. Dropped off and found space. Unsworth's block.
That could be a problem for Everton. You know, Robbie Keane has done that on 4 or 5 occasions already in their first 10 minutes, just dropping off, a little bit like McFadden's done for Everton. Difficult to mark.
Easy one for Nigel Martin. Now Kilban. Just took his eyes off the ball, but Radzinski didn't and feeds it straight back into Kilban. Only McFadden in the box for Everton at the moment, though. They've got a corner off Carr.
A good play, wasn't it? From back to front very quickly, starting with Nigel Martin just bowling the ball out to Kevin Kilban. McFadden made a terrific run down the middle.
Unchallenged headed clearance by Ziege. Big shout for handball as Naismith belted it against Brown.
That could be a problem from set pieces, Everton. Either corners or free kicks. We saw 2 or 3 minutes earlier Kevin Kilban getting round the back, getting a header, trying to head it back towards a teammate who may well have been in a better position.
Gravison will take this. Unsworth on the far post, a possible target. He almost found Watson. Here's Linderoth. Pistone says, leave it to me. And now Gravison. Well played. Now what's he going to do? He knew.
He made a very tight angle for himself though, didn't he, Thomas Gravison? A very open game again. Spurs looking to get on to the ball very quickly. Breaking.
Trying to man over as well.
Yeah, trying to cause Everton problems, and perhaps if Robbie Keane had spotted the run from Jermaine Defoe, and that would have been a real problem for Everton, because Everton, with the likes of Unsworth and Yobo, was still tracking back.
Goal scoring's been a real problem for Tottenham in recent weeks. They managed 12 in 3 games in the month of February, but since then just 1 goal in 5, and that was an own goal. Here's Redknapp. Back in by Kelly. Pistone hesitated, I think, waiting for the shout from Nigel Martin.
I think Pistone was looking for his goalkeeper to deal with it very early. A little bit of indecision between the pair of them.
Not the best clearance. A lot of joy in his Leeds United days against Tottenham. He won 8 out of 12 appearances against Spurs. It's Rudzinski for Everton at the other end, blocked by Gardner. Redknapp. Naismith in the battle with Davis. Carr, he made a bit of a mess of the earlier throw. Redknapp. Yeovil should win most of the aerial battles against the foe, and Keane come to that. Brown. Now Ziege. It's a good ball. Keane. Fine tackle, but it's broken for Christian Ziege, who's made a complete mess of it.
He started particularly well, as he, Christian Ziege, from a defensive point of view or an attacking sense when he's got the ball. It's a lot more quality than that. Not sure what he was thinking, whether Jermaine Defoe was going to try and make a run in behind Joseph Yobo.
Just 3 away wins this season. Tottenham at Leicester, Leeds and Charlton. They've lost their last 3 on their travels without even scoring. And as David Pleat knows from his long association with the club, away form has been their problem for quite some time in the Premiership. Carr. Gardner getting forward and finding Keane. Back to the centre half. Here's Keane. Not a bad effort from that range.
He's a threat at the moment, Robbie Keane. He's the one that really Everton need to be very careful about.
Poor throw out by Nigel Martin, straight to Davis. Very relieved to see Naismith help him out. And that could turn out to be a good ball. McFadden chasing it. Rudzinski's up with him. The challenge by Gardner means an Everton corner.
You know, there's a great pace to this game. I think it's a typical English game. Both sides really getting after it very early. A lot of pace from both teams. A lot of passion, determination. Chances at both ends.
Everton's 3rd corner already, just over 15 minutes gone. Naismith providing a different option to Gravesen, which he takes. Good ball in! It's a goal by Unsworth! No more than Everton's start has deserved.
Yeah, you were spot on. Everton have deserved that. They've been the dominating team so far. Good little short corner routine. Good pace on the ball from Gravesen. Is Unsworth offside? Very, very close, isn't it? That little flick, he gets in behind Gary Doherty. Doherty, caught ball watching. And I'm sure that David Unsworth doesn't know an awful lot about that. But it doesn't really matter, because that's a goal. It's that little flick there. Is he offside? Oh, he looks it, doesn't he? He looks it. And just have a look at the referee's assistant. He has got the perfect position. But he keeps his flag down, and Spurs don't complain about it, though.
Well, Unsworth made his league debut against Spurs 12 years ago this month, would you believe? What a way to celebrate that particular anniversary. I'm sure when Spurs do see the video replays of the goal, they will have justifiable cause to feel angry. It all happened so quickly.
Yeah, it did, and you know, you've only got a moment to make that decision. The gentleman there decided to keep his flag down. But really, Everton have started with such fierce determination. You know, they want to get to that 40-point total very quickly and make it a little bit easy for themselves for the remaining games. And he'll be frustrated this season, David Moyes. He's had a big squad to call upon, and talked about the players that were missing: Stubbs, Weir, Campbell, Rooney, Ferguson, just out of tonight's game. And they're a big miss to him.
They've only won 8 of their 31 Premiership games, but 7 of those 8 wins have come here at Goodison. So that, This made it hard for him. Naismith helping him out. The ball for Radzinski. Gravison. Sudden let that go. He thought he might have been offside.
Well, I talked about that first 30 minutes being crucial to Spurs. You know, they needed to come here strong and brave and determined.
There's the foe, can change a game in an instant. Good tackle from Naismith. Unsworth making it too long for Radzinski. It's Unsworth's third goal of the season, by the way, not that total for a centre-back. He's been out of the side of late. He only returned to the starting 11 against Newcastle last week. Kilban. Naismith. Gravison again thought he might be offside. McFadden's going to keep chasing this. That's why Keller's had to come way out. A good clearance by the American keeper. Everton winning all the battles in terms of the challenges at the moment. Here's Keane for Tottenham. Redknapp. The ball for Brown. Oh, well played by Yobo. Lovely interception. Now McFadden. Everton again were undecided about the offside trap.
Yeah, he needed to be a little bit more patient, didn't he, James McFadden? Perhaps a lack of experience trying to play Radzinski too quickly. Tottenham back four had come an awful long way up, just trusting the pace of the likes of Gardner in particular. But Radzinski, as we've seen, is possessed with a lot of pace. What a great start for Everton. They've really been at it from the very beginning, and Spurs just haven't been able to match that determination and that passion that the home team have shown.
Remember, it's almost 2 months since a Tottenham player scored in the Premiership. As I mentioned before, the only goal they've managed in their last 5 games, an own goal by Newcastle's Andy O'Brien. But here's one man who can change that statistic, and another. Ziege, well held.
That was a decent effort, wasn't it, from Christian Ziege? We know how good he is on his left side, and he just digs out a shot here. And Nigel Martin just scampering across to his left-hand side, looks comfortable in the end, but Everton need to be aware because they do have good quality players. We talked about that, Tottenham Hotspur. And if they give the likes of Keane and Defoe and potentially Ziege a little sniff, then they won't disappoint.
Gardner was strong there against McFadden. That's gone over the line, surely. Yes, it's a corner.
Oh, that's careless. That really is careless. You know, Anthony Gardner had done all the hard work. He battled with the challenge from McFadden, and this is where he just needs to be a little bit composed. There's no pressure, and then he puts it out of play.
Another Everton corner. Kilban coming to meet it. Very dangerous from set pieces, Kevin Kilban.
Well, this is a decision that this man had to make. It was quick. It was something that, you know, at times it's very difficult to spot. But David Unsworth, for me, strays offside. But it's a split second, isn't it? There you can see. And just a little flick. Is he offside? Is he onside? But that's happened so quickly. And it's very, very difficult at times to detect. But he's certainly given the benefit of the doubt to David Unsworth.
Gardner. Gravison putting him under pressure. He's made a really good start, Gravison, patrolling the middle of the field with real intent and purpose. Away by Unsworth. Headed out by Carr. Ball boy returns it quickly. They want to keep the momentum going for Everton.
Well, this is a tactic, actually, you know, there's ball boys dotted all around the pitch, and they've got balls to get back into play as quickly as possible, because Everton don't want to let up this pace. They don't want to allow Spurs to slow things down.
Doherty seemed to be all over McFadden then. Here's the Scot again. Good skill. Brilliant. Oh, positive play from McFadden. He's brought down right outside the penalty area by Doherty, who's fortunate perhaps to escape a caution for that.
Well, he is, but it's a great piece of dribbling, wasn't it, from McFadden? Well, maybe he's not going to get away with it. But Rob Styles had the opportunity to have a word with Gary Doherty. He makes the right decision, just calm it down. You know, I'll give you the opportunity to let you get away with that. I'm not going to produce a yellow card, but this is a great position for the free kick. Gravison, I'm sure, will fancy this. Naismith also on the ball. It's one of those you can go either side, really. You've got the right footer, you've got the left footer.
Little conflab between the two Everton players over the ball. Everton have put two men into the Tottenham defensive wall to further confuse the picture for Kasey Keller.
You won't see an awful lot of this, Kasey Keller.
Naismith kills it and kills it in. He didn't see a lot of it. 2-0. What a start for the Blues.
Well, you said it. Absolutely brilliant start. Well, what a fantastic free kick. I said you can either go one of two ways, the left footer or the right footer, and it was Naismith. And Kasey Keller doesn't see an awful lot of that until it's just going over the top of the wall. But it was a superb execution. Perhaps the wall have just moved, but this was the foul. This is the tackle from Gary Doherty on the edge of the box. Does brilliant, doesn't he, McFadden? And that will always cause defenders problems. If you're going to go at defenders in that area of the field, you always run the risk of giving free kicks away. But again, look at this tenacity that Everton have started this football match with.
Tottenham can't cope at the moment. Naismith's first goal since he scored against Fulham way back in August. And what a beauty.
That was a great execution, wasn't it? What a start for David Moyes. He was very disappointed with the result up at Newcastle. They'd had a decent run. One defeat in 6 league games, but today I think they've started absolutely on top form. They've really been at it from the off, and Tottenham haven't really got anywhere near them.
Watson drifting in, wins the header, bounced up very unpleasantly for Doherty, and headed out by Gravison. Everton have only lost 2 of their last 10 games at Goodison Park, a statistic that won't please David Pleat in view of that scoreline.
David has been in this game an awful long time, and a lot of experience. He needs all that experience, but not an awful lot you can do about this, because it's just a superb free kick. It really is. And Kasey Keller has no chance whatsoever. You're hoping the wall is going to be really rigid, and I just wonder, when seeing that again, you know, Robbie Keane goes at that with his head, and perhaps he just comes away a little bit from the rest of the wall, and there's a little bit of a gap there. But take nothing away from the free kick from Gary Naismith. It really was top draw. It's as good as you've seen all season.
Jermaine Defoe running into trouble. Lindelof, Bastoni. I just wonder, is there something you can do about those free kicks? It's a pet theory of mine that absolutely nobody agrees with. If you put a defender on the post, I know the argument about playing players onside, but he might have stopped it.
Well, some coaches and managers will look to do that, won't they? They will put a player on the post, and then obviously the goalkeeper can cover the other post. That's something clearly Spurs have elected not to do. And then you're always running the risk. If Gary Naismith can get that ball up and over the wall, then any goalkeeper there, if you elect to take one side of the goal rather than the other, you're always going to have a problem, because the distances are so short. It's the edge of the box. A lot of pace on the ball from Naismith.
And superb technique. Gravison. Here's Jermaine Defoe. Yogo in strongly. Oh. Carnival time at the moment for Tottenham. They keep hitting the ball against each other.
It was interesting listening to George, you know, coming into this game when he's in the studio with Marcus. He talked about leadership qualities. Now, this really bears out his point that he was talking about. When you look around this Spurs team, you tell me who's having those leadership qualities to really get a grip of things and to get the players back playing again. Certainly Jamie Redknapp's got that in the locker. He's capable of doing that. We haven't really seen an awful lot of him in midfield. And you have to say we've seen more of the likes of Gravison and Lindelof and Kilban and Watson than we have of the midfield 4 of Spurs.
Overconfident play at the back here by Everton. Oh. Doherty wins the header against McFadden this time. Now Carr. Spurs need a a big improvement in the way they're playing and in attitude to get back into this game at the moment. Gardner. Ziga. On to the youngster Kelly, who finds Defoe. Brown. It's a good ball. Redknapp's layoff. Lindelof in the right place for Everton. There's Watson. Gravison. And now Jermaine Defoe. Brilliant! What a good stop again by Nigel Martyn.
Well, you know, if they get it at this end of the pitch, Spurs, this is where they're at their best. Defoe, Keane, lively players. Very difficult to handle if you're a defender. Joseph Yobo certainly buys the dummy, doesn't he? But Defoe can't find the shot to beat Nigel Martyn. But this is where Spurs have got to play. Top end of the field. Because defensively, and certainly in midfield, it's a real problem at the moment. The pace is too much for them.
Jermaine Defoe again. The layoff by Keane. Redknapp. Now Tottenham at last beginning to find a bit of form in the game. Carr's booming cross, easily taken by Nigel Martyn.
Still been enough attempts, hasn't it, from both sides? But certainly Spurs are as equal with Everton in respect of on target, but the important statistic is, if you're an Everton fan, it's 2-0 to the home team.
It could get worse for Spurs. McFadden caught Gardner by surprise and then kept the pressure on Casey Keller.
I'm not sure whether Anthony Gardner got the shout. I think that's what he's shouting to the likes of Stephen Kelly and Casey Keller.
Well, let's be honest, on paper it didn't look the most glamorous fixture of the weekend, but it's been an outstanding opening half an hour here. McFadden. He's got confidence by the Sacklow, the young Scot. Okay, let's look forward to the rest of this Easter weekend. On Sunday at 4 on Sky Sports 1, Newcastle United against Arsenal, a huge game there. And our offering on Premiership Plus is Aston Villa against Chelsea. That's Easter Monday. We start at 2:30. Fulham against Blackburn is on Monday evening on Sky Sports 1. The show starts at 7:30. Carr. Now Doherty. Looking for the long ball for Defoe. So was Unsworth though. Naismith. McFadden. Gardner intercepts. Redknapp. Here's Carr. It's a good ball. Ziga let it run. Keane. Good play, Keane. Now Davis. Played it straight against Naismith. Claimed it was handball. Nothing given. Radzinski's layoff to Gravison.
Still claiming Spurs for a handball against Gary Naismith. They felt they should have had a penalty there. Once again though, Spurs looking nice and bright in the final third, but I've got to say, the rest of the pitch, they're not looking comfortable.
Radzinski offside.
A big decision for Rob Stiles to make here. This ball, Simon Davis comes into Gary Naismith. It's clearly hit Naismith's arm, but I don't think Naismith can do an awful lot about that. It's ball to arm rather than arm to ball, and I think that's enough for the referee to say play on. That's not a penalty.
Doherty. Gardner. Every single time Tottenham try to get comfortable on the ball at the back, they're closed down by Everton players.
Energy levels are brilliant. That's what's making it such an entertaining game to watch. The pace of this football match. You know, we've seen it time and time again this season in the Premier League. Nowhere else around the world that you produce this type of pace in domestic league football.
And these are teams 12th and 14th in the table. Unsworth to Watson. On to Gravison. Gardner the defender. He's got round him. Redknapp. And relieved to hear the whistle blow. Took the free kick a little bit too quickly for his own good there. And Davis judged to have fouled Gary Naismith.
Winning all the bits and pieces, aren't they, Everton? They've done from the very first minute, and that's been Spurs' problem. You know, the important parts of the game, when you haven't got the ball, you need to be able to do that bit. Spurs are more than competent when they're in possession of the ball, but it's certainly defensively and getting the ball back that they need to work a little bit harder.
Watson. Here's Gravison. Good play again. McFadden. Only Radzinski in the middle, but he might go alone.
Well, he got on his favoured left foot, didn't he, James McFadden? Picking the ball up wide right. He has this ability to just drift past defenders. As I say, that favoured left foot can't really quite find the position that he's looking for to place it past Casey Keller. He made the keeper work, and that's the important thing.
Well, over the years, Spurs have scored more goals and won more points against Everton than any other team in the Premiership. Just one defeat in the last 24 meetings. To keep that record going, they've got to improve 50% at least. Brown. Kelly back again to Brown. Keane, Ziga. Watson battling with Brown, and Spurs get the throw this time.
You know, even at 2-0 down, I still wouldn't rule Spurs out. You know, talked about how good they are in the final third and how clever the likes of Keane and Defoe are. And I'm sure when they get a sniff of an opportunity, like we've seen already, they will trouble Nigel Martin.
Carr. There's Brown. Gets it back from Davis. That's better. Defoe. And a cross deflected behind, off Ziga's ball in for a Tottenham corner. First of the game, I think, for Spurs. Ziga himself will take it. Gardner's header. And now Defoe. Well, he felt he was fouled by Naismith and then went in angrily for a bit of retribution, and so did Redknapp on McFadden, and that's going to be a card.
Well, first and foremost, Rob Stiles will have a little word with Jermaine Defoe for his late challenge on Gary Naismith. Then he's going to have a word with the Spurs skipper, Jamie Redknapp. Certainly James McFadden was looking for it, wasn't it? We knew that Jamie Redknapp was looking to commit himself in that area of the field. And Rob Stiles, who hasn't gone around brandishing the yellows so far, has certainly done it now. This is a crucial period now for both sides. The Everton need to see this through till half-time. But if Spurs can nick a goal just before the interval, then really will change the complex of the game.
Brilliant play from McFadden. Good tackle, Doherty. Here's Coban. And Doherty in the line of flight again. Gravison. Haven't seen too much of Everton this season, but this must be as well as they've played in the first half of the game for a very long time.
David will be absolutely delighted with the performance. You know, it's had a bit of everything, hasn't it? You know, the pace, the passion, the desire, but also a lot of quality when they've had the ball. And of course, well, perhaps the first goal was a little bit fortunate, but the second one was an absolutely superb free kick from Gary Naismith. They certainly are in the driving seat, but he'll know that Spurs possess enough in an attacking sense that they can't afford to take their foot off the gas.
It's a nice change for Everton, by the way, to have a lead at half-time, assuming they still do, because they've scored their last 11 goals in the Premiership during the second half of games. Two goals, and Wayne Rooney unable to contribute to either. Redknapp's header cleared by Gravison. Not the best back pass, was it? Keller did really well, but it's come to Kilban, who heads it back, and Doherty atoned with the clearance, and then Everton had a strong appeal for a penalty. Here's Gravison meantime. Now that's going to be trouble for Doherty, his second rash challenge in an almost identical position, and of course from the free kick that led to Everton's goal, he was the culprit.
Well, that was amazing stuff, wasn't it? You know, if there was an example of how poorly Spurs have defended in this first half, you've just seen it there in the last minute or so. The short back pass initially from Doherty left Kasey Keller with an awful lot to do. And the header back from Kilban, Doherty does well, recovers the situation, then gives a free kick in an identical position from where Everton scored their second goal.
Well, now I wonder, will they try something different, or go on the basis of it's worked once, it can work again? All will be revealed in just a moment.
It'll be interesting now where Kasey Keller does get his wall. He's standing in exactly the same spot as he did when the second goal went past him. But just have a look where the wall is now. Look where they've got Gardner. They've got him now on the edge of the wall, which they had Robbie Keane before. So I'm sure they're hoping that little bit of height there might just help.
It's Gravison. Good save, but knocked in by Yobo. Everton 3, Spurs 0.
Well, it's dreamland for Everton. 3-0 up before the interval. We still have 5-6 minutes to play. Absolutely incredible, beyond their wildest dreams. And Tottenham have been an absolute shambles in this first half. And again, the free kick. Where are the wall? Where's the charger? Kasey Keller sees it late. Always going to be difficult for him. Michael Brown turns his back on it. The ball squirts through. And then it's about whether an Everton player can follow up. And Joseph Yobo's never going to have an easier opportunity presented to him in his entire career.
Well, strangely enough, it was only a week ago he scored his first ever goal for Everton on his 50th appearance for the club. That was in the 4-2 defeat at Newcastle. Now it's 2-2, and grim for David Pleat. Very grim.
He's shaking his head. He knows exactly what it means to him. I just wonder whether he's hoping his players are as hurt as he is.
There's Yobo. Maybe time for a little trick or two over the ball. Gary Doherty, whose 2 reckless challenges have led to 2 Everton goals. And of course a yellow card for him. Here's Jermaine Defoe. Good ball in, and it almost found Keane. Nigel Martin's been very sharp in that Everton goal tonight. And a good sharp throw out to Kilban. Radzinski, they're not finished yet, Everton. Here's Watson. Just hesitated, and that was enough to let Tottenham off the hook. It's a corner, though.
Well, the pace of Everton's play has been unrelenting. And Spurs just haven't coped with it. And he's got an awful lot of sorting out to do at the interval, alongside Chris Hughton. Where do you start after a first half performance like he's witnessed?
And the way Everton are playing, not able to recover here. Whipped into the near post. And very relieved that the referee saw a foul in there somewhere.
It's been a tough first half, hasn't it, from Gary Doherty? Playing alongside Anthony Gardner. What a difficulty having the Spurs this season, actually, in general, about keeping clean sheets. The youngster Gardner on a real run in this side this season. Certainly found it very difficult as a pair. Radzinski's pace and Jamie Redknapp just finding his feet in the first team again. What an uncomfortable evening for him. Like the majority of Spurs players, just haven't got close to the pace of this game.
Well, Spurs have been involved in a couple of incredible high-scoring games, of course, this season. That never-to-be-forgotten FA Cup match against Manchester City, a 4-4 draw a few weeks ago against Leicester. So, perhaps, but it's going to have to be a massive turnaround. Naismith. Here's Gravison. Ball down by Carr. That's going to be a yellow card for him. Three players on a caution as well now, Spurs.
Well, this is where you begin to lose your discipline. That's exactly what Stephen Carr, with his experience, he really ought not to be getting involved in that. They're going to make themselves even harder now for Spurs, because they've 3 cautions now to players, and the next one, and Rob Stiles isn't frightened to show that red card when it needs to be shown.
That is true. 8 this season in the Premiership, more than any other referee. Unsworth looks for Watson. The header down, fell kindly for once for Tottenham, but Graveson's there to win it back again. Almost everywhere you look in this first half, Everton have won the individual battles.
You know, Everton have played this game like a cup tie, and Spurs have almost played it like a pre-season friendly, and that's been the difference. You know, when you look at the pace that Everton have set about the task, 10 goal attempts in the first half, 3 goals to show for it, but everywhere on the field it's been a blue shirt that's won those little battles.
10-4 reminds me of a famous story on Merseyside. Many years ago in the 1960s, there was a very popular television programme called Highway Patrol. The call sign was 10-4. I remember once in an Easter fixture, Tottenham beat Everton 10-4. You can imagine what the Liverpool fans made of that at the time. But the 10-4 shots on goal is in Everton's favour here tonight. Brown. There's Gardner. And that just about sums up Tottenham's half. Only seconds remaining to half-time, and those Tottenham players must be dreading the tongue lashing they're going to be getting from David Pleat and co. 1 minute of stoppage time. Brown. Redknapp doing well. Ziege pumps it much too close to goalkeeper Nigel Martin. Well, he looks pretty grim-faced, but I can't think why. Fallon. You think that there's no Rooney, no Campbell, no Ferguson, and Everton have still managed 3 goals in the first half. What a tribute to the way they've played. Everton's best 45 minutes of the season, and they deserve that standing ovation. But from Tottenham's point of view, it was simply woeful. They have to improve in the second half. Whether they can improve sufficiently to get back into this game is highly debatable. 2 rash challenges by Doherty just outside his penalty area led to 2 excellent free kicks. Naismith putting one straight into the net. Graveson's shot being pushed out by Keller to the feet of Yobo, after Everton, of course, had already taken an early lead through David Unsworth. 3-0, and a very comprehensive 3-0 at half. Freddie Canuti coming on to replace Christian Ziege, which will obviously mean a change of formation as well for Spurs. And there's one punter in the stadium tonight sweating on the outcome of this second half. I gather somebody had a bet at 550 to 1 for all of Everton's back 4 to score tonight. 3 of them already have. Bastoni, at the moment, is the odd man out. Mind you, he scored just 1 goal in 4 years as an Everton player. So the bookies might be able to breathe again. Well, Spurs have only managed 11 goals in 15 away games this season, 10 of which they've lost. Only Wolves, Portsmouth and Leeds have a worse record on the road than Tottenham. Gravesson with the first of what I'm sure are going to be many clearances from him. He had an outstanding first half in midfield for Everton.
Well, we talked about the half-time team talk for David Pleat, but just as importantly, I'm sure the half-time team talk from David Moyes was quite crucial, because they can't let up, Everton. Talk that Spurs do have a lot of ability in the final third. But once again, sloppy play. Really is sloppy play. Starting off in the second period like they ended in the first, and David must be absolutely furious alongside Chris Hughton. Not an awful lot you can do as a manager. You prepare, or you like to think you prepare your side as well as you possibly can, and then once they cross that white line, it's up to them then to produce, and they haven't produced tonight, Spurs.
Certainly haven't so far. Radzinski, Stoney. Radzinski's cross to Watson. Great turn by Watson. Unlucky.
Very nearly clever play, wasn't it, Stephen Watson? I didn't think it was a great ball from Radzinski, but have a look at there, Kelly's showing his little bit of inexperience there. He was going to go for it, he needed to make sure he got there.
Throw out by Martin. Yogo. Away by Gardner. Watson picks up the loose ball. Picked up where they left off at half-time. Gravison. Too long for Watson, though.
Well, it looks as if Spurs are just going to drop Robbie Keane a little bit deeper, playing behind the front two of Canute and Defoe. They need to get him into the game. He's the little bright spark for them. He can make things happen. And Lloyd and Tottenham needs something to happen for them to get back into this football match.
Brave header there by Unsworth. Kilban. Doherty winning it back. Plenty of air on the clearance. Canute gets his first touch, and a very good one too. Keane. And Gardner. This is Stephen Kelly. Carr. This is what Tottenham are good at, keeping the ball like this, but in the decisive areas they've been found wanting tonight.
It was better, wasn't it? I mean, they were under intense pressure again from Everton, but they kept the ball with some quality, and then they found Canute.
He's on the ball again, briefly. Lindelof deprives him of it and finds McFadden. It's an Everton throw. Night for Doherty so far. Sent off, by the way, in the 1-1 draw here a couple of seasons ago. He's under threat of a similar dismissal tonight on a yellow card. Stephen Carr and Jamie Redknapp also sitting on a caution for Spurs. Kilban sums up what Everton have been all about tonight. Brown. Pitch straight against Watson. Here's Pistone. Lindelof. Unsworth goes long for McFadden with a very good ball. Radzinski started to make his run into the box already. Gravison back for McFadden. He was just edged out there by Carr. The referee saw him on with the challenge.
That was better defending though, wasn't it, from Stephen Carr? Just got his body in the right position, just to shield James McFadden away from the ball.
Canute. Yogo's quick and wasn't going to be beaten that easily.
He's been a threat, hasn't he, James McFadden? It was a clever ball from David Unsworth in the channel, but he's running off the ball. Has been exceptional. That's a little 1-2 he tried to play with Gravison. Just have a look at Stephen Carr, just getting his body across the Scotsman. Wasn't close to it really, McFadden, was he? Claims in vain.
Redknapp for Spurs. Keane. On by Brown to Kelly. It's a good ball from Brown. Defoe. That's wasteful.
Well, great shame, wasn't it? Because they had a couple of players at the far post, Davies and Canute. Jermaine Defoe could have found the quality.
Oh, great bit of skill by Gravison. Big contender for man of the match at the moment. Here's Rodzinski. And McFadden. Good turn by the Scot.
Well, he got it on his favoured left foot, and he would have fancied that. Again, some question marks about where Gary Doherty's position is. He leaves McFadden with an awful lot of room on the edge of the box, and then once he gets it onto that favoured left foot, you expect him to hit the target there. Just a little drop of the shoulder, but you need to make the keeper work.
This is his 21st appearance for Everton, and he's yet to score. He averaged almost a goal every 2 games for Motherwell, and of course he scored for Scotland last week in the international against Romania, coming on as his sub. Incidentally, another worrying statistic for Tottenham fans: in the history of the Premiership, they have never come back to rescue a game from a 3-goal deficit. There's Redknapp. Keane. It's a clever little ball for Brown. To Kelly. Dangerous cross, but Canute couldn't reach it.
Well, that's a couple of opportunities the Spurs have got themselves about 30-40 yards from goal, just trying to find that necessary quality to get a ball into Freddie Canute. Decent goal scoring record this season, 12 goals.
He scored a great goal when they beat Everton 3-0 at White Hart Lane in October. Davis lets it run to Keane. Now Carr. Gravison there to kick it off again for Everton. Big shout for handball, but Carr's been allowed to get away with the interception and goes for goal.
Well, they've looked a little bit lively, haven't the Spurs? And you would expect that. I'm sure David Pleat had some harsh words to say to his team at the interval, and they've come out with a little bit of determination. Suspicion of handball there. Stephen Carr gets away with it. The referee's close enough. But can they do the impossible? Can they claw back a 3-goal deficit? A lot of quality on their side. They need to create a lot of chances to get anywhere near that, but also Everton, I'm sure, are not going to let this lead slip without a real fight. It's that fight that was missing from Spurs' performance in the first 45 minutes, and that may well have condemned them to get nothing out of this game.
Remember, Spurs haven't even scored in their last 3 games. They haven't scored in their last 3 away games either. Gravison. Oh, the Everton fans love him. He really has played well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's run the show in midfield. Well, he's shown the necessary leadership qualities, and the rest of the team have taken his pace as the yardstick.
Canute's header. Keane. Redknapp finds Kelly. Brown with a good ball for Defoe. Keane wanted it early. Here he is. Carr. Second time he's wasted an opening in a matter of minutes.
That's where you need to show a little bit more quality. As I said, they were getting better, Spurs. And they've had enough possession to create 1 or 2 half opportunities. There's been nothing more than that. Stephen Carr has had a couple of those half opportunities. And both times he's failed to hit the target. I'm sure David Moyes will be hoping his side can get back to the pace of the first 45 minutes. But psychologically, you know, you've got those 3 goals, you've gone in the interval, given it time for a breather, time to settle down. You need to get back to playing and dominating the way in the first 45 minutes.
Here's Canute, who's made a difference. It's interception. And away by Watson to McFadden. Ball lay off. Straight to Keane. Carr. What's happened to Stephen Carr in the last few minutes? Here he is again. Gardner. Doherty.
certainly kept the ball better on the second half, Spurs. But they need to turn that possession into goals. They need to get at the top end of the field. They need to get Robbie Keane at the top end.
Keane. Now Redknapp. The reverse ball for Davis. On to Carr. They want to get this right. Redknapp. Keane faced by Watson. Here's Brown. Stone just nicked it away, but it is a corner. Not too many landing even tonight.
That gets pulled up for a slight infringement.
Yeah, but the fans are doing their best to point it out to the officials. Lutia came flying in. Gravison with an excellent ball out. Radzinski, he's got pace. Oh, well played, Watson. Now Gravison. On again to Radzinski. It's a corner off Kelly.
Look at the composure of Thomas Gravison as well. He was the one that started that move. Then he supported Radzinski. They're just quite happy to keep the ball, and it's important because Spurs have started quite well in this second period. This is where they need a bit of possession now, Everton, just to take the sting out of Spurs' performance.
They're trying to get there through a crowd of players, and the whistle goes, free kick Spurs.
He couldn't get anywhere near it. So many players in front of him. Didn't really have a prayer of coming and taking that, Casey Keller. And there you can see Everton players, Spurs players. Steve Watson there just making a nuisance of himself.
The only man who's played every game for Tottenham this season, Casey Keller. Only one clean sheet in his last 11 Premiership matches. Naismith hits it long over the head of Doherty. McFadden chasing here for Everton. It's a... No, I was about to say it was a penalty because the referee ran towards the spot but was actually pointing to the goal area. Goal kick.
Calm down, calm down. Take another tablet. Again, Gary Doherty just letting the ball go over his head, and then you run the risk because McFadden, like Radzinski for the most of this match, didn't give up the ghost, and it was a comfortable one for the referee in the end.
Another uncomfortable moment for Doherty. Beauty. I don't know if he took that one, but Everton have it back again, and here goes Radzinski. Support arriving.
Well, it's not the worst ball in the world, right across the face of the goal. Still keeping it alive for Stoney.
Gravison seems to be everywhere tonight. Yobo switches the play for Naismith. He keeps powering on.
That's brilliant play from Everton. Started on the right-hand side with Stoney. Gravison again keeping good possession. Fabulous ball from Yobo. And then Naismith just taking the initiative, getting into that threatening area in the final third. A little bit unfortunate not to pick out an Everton player.
Well, even though Tottenham have enjoyed so much more possession in this second half, there doesn't seem to be any real belief about Spurs that they can get back into this game almost an hour gone. Short, played back in by Gravison. Just, shall we say, made his presence felt.
So it's going to be a bit of an aerial mismatch, wasn't it? Robbie Keane against David Unsworth, but Keane does well. He stands his ground.
Remember, if Everton win tonight, they will go above Spurs. They've got a better goal difference. They certainly have at the moment. Anyway, before the kick-off, David Moyes will be very relieved to get another 3 points in the bank towards the magical target of 40 that most teams regard as a guarantee of another season in the Premiership. Spurs haven't got there yet in themselves, of course.
He's been a real live wire, hasn't he, Thomas Rosiński? I talked about his pace and his willingness to run into areas that will always cause defenders problems, and I think the front two are really led by example. McFadden and Rosiński have been excellent.
McFadden's ball in, Watson coming to meet it.
Just did enough, didn't he, young Stephen Kelly at the far post. That was always going to be a difficult one for him to deal with. Fabulous play from McFadden, gets himself near the byline and then floats a beautiful cross to the far post, and Watson is no slouch when it comes to an aerial challenge. Young Kelly did well.
Short again to Rosiński this time. Back in by Naismith. It was Kelly who got it away again. Nuti.
Snapping away though. Thomas Gravesen really has led by example this evening. Has had a tremendous performance in midfield.
Key part of that excellent Danish team as well. He won his 43rd cap last week against Spain. There's Redknapp. He's looked at his night so far. He's been a long, long time out, of course, Jamie Redknapp. Last week against Chelsea, his first start for 6 months. Watson. Gravesen. Great ball again. Pistone. With a clearance to Davis. Davis hasn't even played a reserve game since that shin injury he's had. So he's plunged straight back in tonight. Just a week or so's training.
The Spurs have got, Alan, is well, they've passed the ball better. Not any real width. You know, Robbie Keane playing just behind the front two, so they're dependent on the fullbacks in particular to give them that width, either right side, left side. They just missed that a little bit, and that's when you've got to get at the final third and create those opportunities for either Canuti or Defoe or Robbie Keane. And they have passed it better because Keane has given them that link between midfield and attack. But it's that width now that they're lacking.
I said before the kick-off it had been a roller coaster season for Spurs. They actually dropped into the bottom 3 in January. They improved and went as high as 10th only last month. It's their away record that's their Achilles heel, without doubt. There's Kelly taking on and beating Pistone. Canuti in the middle. Good run by Kelly. He's earned his team a corner.
Good well done, Linderoth. But that's what I was talking about, Alan. That width. And the right-hand side was Stephen Carr, or the left-hand side was Stephen Kelly. It's a first real burst of pace.
Tottenham give themselves just a glimmer of hope. Gravesen almost inevitably clears the corner. They got away with the challenge in Rosiński. Carr took a bit of a risk there against the speedy McFadden. Away by Yobo. Doherty. Carr. Again, Everton pressing as soon as Tottenham get possession in the middle of the park. There's Keane though. On to Defoe. Well, I don't need to tell you who won it back.
Almost magnetic, isn't it? Thomas Gravesen just seems to be everywhere at the moment. I'm sure there's only one of them.
Don't say that, because if Carsley comes on, he's his twin brother. There's Gravesen again. Carr's clearance has gone straight to Pistone. Watson. Oh, great early ball in.
Oh, it was superb, wasn't it? Steve Watson just had a little look, spotted the run of Thomas Radzinski, 1v1 against Gary Doherty, but the pace of the ball in from Steve Watson just eludes the Everton front man, and there's no one else really coming to the far post that can convert that chance that Watson created.
Gravesen dispossessed for once by Redknapp. Keane. Kelly providing the overlap down the left. Carr. Brown. There's Redknapp again. That's great skill by Jamie Redknapp. Keane. Here's Redknapp to hit it.
He had to wait an awful long time for that ball to come across his body, Jamie Redknapp. He's looking to get it onto his favoured right foot, perhaps a little bit more pace on the ball. You can see he's waiting. It's a difficult one to take that. And again, Lindelof giving useful protection to the back four.
And the Everton fans just reminding him of his Anfield background. He played in 12 Merseyside derbies in his time with Liverpool and scored in one of them here at Goodison. Pistone. Gravesen. Watson. Long way back from Pistone, but Nigel Martin was on his toes. Joseph Yobo. It's a fine ball from McFadden. His layoff was excellent to Naismith. He's won the throw. Lindelof. Now Kilban. Whoops. I think they might get a free kick for that.
They certainly know each other, don't they, from the Republic of Ireland times together. Kevin Kilban and Stephen Carr. Kilban again is very much like Gravesen, like Lindelof. And the majority of those players in midfield work tirelessly.
Everton have been very successful from their set pieces so far tonight. Gravesen takes. Awkward clearance for Redknapp, but he made it successfully. Now Canuti. Oh, that's a great ball. Redknapp. Kelly. Keane. Canuti's header. And there's a clash there with Unsworth. He's a tough lad, Unsworth. He's back on his feet already. Davis. And Redknapp. Keane. Canuti just about keeps possession. Half at the moment, but can they get that decisive ball into the penalty area? Here's Canuti, looking to do just that and being fouled as well, tugged back there by Gravesen, and this is exactly the position from which Everton scored twice in the first half.
Well, it was careless, wasn't it, Thomas Gravesen? We've been singing his praises, but a little bit unprofessional for him. 25 yards out, giving Spurs a little bit of an opportunity, but just look what Everton have done. Are they going to keep that player on the post? Well, that, to your point, encourages then the other side to come a little bit closer to goal, and that's what Gary Doherty was going to do, and Jermaine Defoe. I just wonder whether one out of the wall will break and try and get towards that post. Jamie Redknapp, Michael Brown on the ball. Can they come up with the free kicks that Everton found in the first half?
He's not happy for it to be taken. There's a bit of pushing and shoving going on in the wall. Redknapp, and now Lindelof charged out of the wall, but the referee's actually given Everton a free kick because he believes that one of the Tottenham players pushed him.
Yeah, he's saying Simon Davies. Davies is just really for nuisance value. Just got himself into where the Everton defenders are, and he's backed in. You can see him there. He's holding Lindelof. But you see that time and time again every week. If players go into the wall, you know, that's what they're there for, the nuisance value.
Well, after tonight, Spurs have 3 home matches and 3 away to complete their programme. Manchester City, Arsenal and Blackburn go to White Hart Lane. They visit Bolton, Aston Villa and Wolves. And the sooner they reach 40 points, the better from David Pleat's point of view. Isn't sure they're going to get there tonight. Fadden holding it up well. Ravison in. Away by Doherty. Stoney. Fadden. That's a poor attempted return ball by him that's given Tottenham the break. Carr. And now Redknapp. Here's Davis. For the long ball, I'm not sure who he was looking for, but he didn't find him.
Well, he struggled to find the pace of the game, hasn't he, Jamie Redknapp? It's understandable, but an opportunity now for David Pleat. Last throw of the dice, a couple of substitutions now, just to try and freshen things up. Just under 20 minutes to go. Desperate to get some sort of lifeline out of this next period in the game.
Rowan Ricketts and Goran Bunjevcevic, the 2 players coming on. Simon Davis, who's looks short of match sharpness for sure, goes off, and so too does Jamie Redknapp to bruise. Nothing he did tonight, just as I said before, because he used to play for a certain team just across Stanley Park from here.
Now that David Pleat has almost gone 4-4-2, Robbie Keane coming in this left-hand side, really are desperate to get him into the game more. Talked all along, he's the little spark, he can create things out of nothing, but time's running out now for Spurs.
Ball back in by Radzinski. Doherty with a little push, and Fadden appeals to the referee but gets nothing. Brown. Here's Keane. Keane again. Clever ball back to Canuti, but he was closed down by Yobo. Bunjevcevic with a header. It's his first appearance in the first team for 6 months, by the way, for Tottenham.
It's all very tight, isn't it, when Tottenham do have good possession. You know, 4 or 5 passes, but really down the centre of the field. I really do believe if they are to create any openings, they need to get in those wide areas. We've really seen it that often. Stephen Carr had a couple of opportunities at the beginning of the second half. We've seen Stephen Kelly on the one occasion get into the final third, wide left. But other than that, really, everything is almost through the eye of a needle. So tight, and at times, really, it's easy to defend.
Keane, risky ball, but he finds Brown. Keane again. Everton backing away this time. Canuti the target. Stoney gets it away. Taken by Radzinski.
A little bit deeper and deeper and deeper, Everton at the moment. You know, the midfield 4 very close to the back 4. It's the amount of possession that Spurs have had in this second period. Fadden just trying to drop also deeper, get on the ball. That's what Everton are looking for.
Bunjevcevic. This is Keane. Onto the substitute, Rowan Ricketts. It's a clever ball by him to Carr. Ah! What a good goal! From an unlikely source, Stephen Carr's first goal for 3 years.
Well, that's the lifeline they were looking for. Stephen Carr in this second period has come close on a couple of opportunities. A wonderful weighted ball by Ricketts, right in the danger area. Could quite have easily got a penalty in many respects there, Stephen Carr. He keeps on his feet, and then he shows the type of composure that you're looking for in such a threatening area, and Everton can't do anything about that. And that's just perhaps given the home side a little bit of a wake-up call.
Well, at last, the Spurs player has scored in the Premiership. The first man in a Tottenham shirt for almost 2 months.
I'll give David Pleat a little bit more joy, perhaps a little bit more belief. Quarter of an hour to go. He's certainly been involved in a number of comebacks this season. David Pleat with his Tottenham side. Could this be one?
Well, after what's happened this week in Europe, I'm not going to be predicting any outcome. Brown. Ricketts made a good contribution to that goal. On to Canuti. Now Defoe. Now there's a bit of belief about Spurs. Keane. He went for goal and gets a corner.
They look a bit ragged now, don't they, Everton? Well, they showed a lot of tenacity and perhaps used up their energy levels in the first half. The second half, they've really just been chasing around because Spurs have had so much possession.
It's that man Gravison again to Everton's rescue. Sensible ball out to McFadden as well. Well, he was pulled back and there could be a problem here. Carr, remember, is already on a yellow card and sees red. A couple of minutes ago, the hero, now the villain.
Oh, he's furious, isn't he, Stephen Carr? Doesn't feel as if there's an awful lot of contact there, but McFadden did exactly the right thing. Gravison did well, kept his composure, waited and waited and waited for McFadden to make the run that he's looking for. And then McFadden chooses to run at the last defender, and that's important. And then Stephen Carr just cuts across him. Well, it's minimal contact. Minimal contact, but it's enough. McFadden goes to ground. The referee says red card.
Very harsh sending off. Away by Doherty. Everton come back again with Kilban. Naismith's cross. Radzinski was just beaten to it by Gunjevcevic. Now Keane. And he's lost it to Gravison. Still going. Sets it up for Radzinski. Not the most convincing cross. Away by Gardner. Bistoni. Gravison again.
4 minutes and 22 seconds, 74-22. The time of the
Van hesitated and was unable Ricketts to move in and win it back. But not for long now. Radzinski's offside. Incidentally, a byproduct of Stephen Carr's red card is that he's going to miss a lot of games now because he was already facing a 2-match ban for receiving 10 cautions and was due to miss the away game against Bolton and perhaps more significantly the home game against Arsenal. Now there'll be a further ban on the way. McFadden is about to be substituted 12 minutes from time. Granny Jeffers on in his place. Got a back problem, otherwise he might have started the game tonight. Missed the match against Newcastle because of that injury. And this is only his second appearance in the last 7 games. Lindelof, only half clear to Brown. Kelly now back in his favoured position on the right. And Yobo got in the way of Nigel Martin there. That could have been embarrassing for Everton.
It's been a little uncomfortable at times, isn't it, for Everton in this second half? But, well, just when Spurs were looking as if they were potentially going to create problems for Everton, going into the last quarter of an hour, sending off Stephen Carr, you'd have to think has put it well beyond Spurs' capabilities of getting back in this game.
Big Easter programme on Sky Sports. Newcastle against Arsenal Sunday, Sky Sports 1 at 4. Aston Villa against Chelsea, a Premiership Plus game, Monday at 2:30. And later on Monday at 7:30 against Sky Sports 1, Fulham versus Blackburn. 10 minutes to go at Goodison. Everton 3, Tottenham, who are down to 10 men, 1. On by Watson. Jeffers. Just keep Kilban. Everton made a poor start to this season. They only won twice in their first 12 Premiership games. They were in the bottom three in November. They've edged their way back. Difficult to beat again. And tonight found, certainly in the first half, some excellent form. And David Moyes certainly the happier of the two managers here, enjoying a little exchange on the touchline. Here's Kilban. Naismith. It's closing him down. Off him for an Everton throw.
Well, David will be a lot more pleased, won't he, with his side's second half performance. But the game for them was lost in the first 45 minutes. You know, you can't go in at the interval 3-0 down and expect to try and pull back that sort of lead. You know, Everton are dogmatic, they're difficult to play against. They've worked incredibly hard here this evening. And as well as Spurs have played in this second half, still haven't created enough openings to get more goals.
Canuti's header. Kilban. Jeff is screaming for the ball, edge of the box, and he's unmarked. Goal kick. Incidentally, the red card received by Stephen Carr was the first of his career, and this is his 11th season as a Tottenham player.
Not as a defender, that is it.
Here's Rodzinski. Jeffers looking to get on the end of it, but he had to have grown a few feet to get on the end of that.
I don't think even Duncan Ferguson would have got on the end of that. He's 6'3", but needed to be played with a little bit more care, didn't it, by Thomas Rodzinski. Perhaps he's getting to the stage of the game where he's getting a little bit tired, a little bit weary, not as accurate.
There's Bunjevcevic. Tottenham haven't given up yet. Canuti gave up on that cross, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, Freddie Canuti on stunts wouldn't have got on the end of that.
Freddie Canuti sitting on Duncan Ferguson's shoulders wouldn't have got on the end of that. Everton easing their way to a very important victory, because they've got some difficult games coming up. Everton only 2 at Goodison after tonight, Blackburn and Bolton, and then they face 4 away games against Leeds, Chelsea, Wolves and Manchester City. And remember, Everton have only won once on the road all season. Stoney. Here's Gravison. Kilban. Gravison taking care, as he has all night, with his passing. And Everton indulging in a bit of keep ball.
Well, why not? Just let the clock run down now. Everton got the ball. Certainly Spurs won't score from these positions.
Gravison. Couldn't keep it going. Keane for Tottenham. Brown. And here's Kelly. Long ball by Defoe. Too long for Freddie Canuti. Gravison's given it away to Brown. That could be serious. Well, Nigel Martin hasn't been that busy tonight, but whenever he's been called upon, he hasn't been found wanting.
I'm sure David Moyes is furious, really. He won't want his side to make it more uncomfortable than it should be in the last 5 or 6 minutes or so. That's exactly what happened. Thomas Gravison giving the ball away. Michael Brown very nearly taking advantage of that. It's a good strike from distance.
Allison's there to win it back, though. Kilban. Got to be very careful at the moment, Doherty, with those challenges.
He's quite quick to go to ground, isn't he, Gary Doherty? But we've seen there's enough goal attempts from both sides, but that's the scoreline that really reflects the supremacy that Everton have had, especially that first 45 minutes when they were absolutely excellent.
Gardner into the last 5 minutes. Keane needs a bit of help when you have Chevich there to provide it. Home fans responding to the fact that Everton is sitting off and allowing Tottenham this kind of possession. I wouldn't exactly say there's an anxious mood around Goodison, but if Spurs were to score again, it might become so. Did that go out? No, Horizon says play on. Doherty. It's Kelly, who played in all 4 divisions of the Football League on loan, by the way, to various clubs last season. Now here he is in the Premiership. There's Ricketts.
I think Everton are just going to freshen things up, aren't they, for the rainy few minutes of this football match, and you can understand why. You're hoping Thomas Gravesen comes off, aren't you, so you can't get them confused.
You got it. I suppose he thinks he can fool Spurs into thinking that Gravesen's still out there.
He's been excellent, hasn't he, Thomas Gravesen? I think he set the tone for this Everton performance. Yeah, everything that he's done with a lot of quality, with and without the ball, and David Moyes would be absolutely delighted with the leadership that he's shown in the middle of the park.
Replaced by the Republic of Ireland international Lee Carsley as the other substitute. Jeffers threatens for Everton. Tries to set it up for Kilban. Very deliberate. Defending by Yobo. Martin's taken an extra little touch there, but he knew he could afford that luxury. And an enormous clearance from hand, but straight onto the head of Gardner. Kilman. Watson gets it back from Jeffers. Good play again by Everton. To that moment. In fairness, Rosinski slipped over when he was trying to get onto the through ball.
Well, the angle was tight, wasn't it, from Steve Watson? And Thomas Rosinski showed him exactly where he wanted the ball playing, but as you rightly said, just slipped at the crucial moment.
Everton set to move on to 37 points and go above Spurs in the Premiership table. And for a club with that very proud record of 50 consecutive seasons in the highest division, a record surpassed only by Arsenal, Everton will be very relieved when they get the next 3 points on to 40, which means almost certain safety, of course. Unsworth, who started the rot as far as Tottenham are concerned. Naismith, who continued it, on to Kilban. Jeff has given offside. Into the last minute now as Keller delivers it long. And Kanuti fouling Naismith. It's going to be difficult still for Everton, Brian, but you'd think that they would have enough now to guide themselves to safety.
Yeah, I think so. Perhaps one more win should just about do it. David will be a little bit disappointed what's happened this season, but there's another David who will be extremely disappointed. They just didn't get going. The game was lost by half-time. Then it was a damage limitation exercise in the second period. They've done better, but 3-1. Everton certainly have deserved their 3 points.
4 successive defeats for Spurs. Do you see them being in any kind of problem?
Well, I think not with the quality that they have, but if they defend like they did in the first 45 minutes, then there's every chance they're going to get dragged into it. They've got far too much quality, not just in the team but in the squad. and they shouldn't really be in the position that they are, but it's about finding the right balance and the right blend, and they just haven't shown that.
The referee is judged against Unsworth for the challenge on Canute. It might give Tottenham the chance to give the home fans a late scare after all.
Well, again, the player going back on the post. Bunjevcevic just trying to get himself in front of Nigel Martin. Now he's got to come out.
Keane, who scored a hat-trick when they beat Everton 4-3 at White Hart Lane last season.
Tell you what,
Take the kick.
That looks a lot further than 10 yards, isn't it?
Very generous 10.
Too far away, was it? Certainly the way that the wall went back, really looking to bring that back a little bit more than what he did. Robbie Keane started it out, just didn't have enough curl on it, but you can see there his body language, the bit of disappointment. He's done his bit though, to be fair, he hasn't given up.
Long from Pistone, away by Gardner. Good turn by Brown, who was being fouled by Lindelof. I really don't understand in stoppage time why that deserves a yellow card.
Well, Mr. Sal's going to argue it's a blatant foul. That's why he feels that he had to give Lindelof the yellow card, but
what happened to common sense? Everton have finally laid the ghost of Tottenham Hotspur. After 7 long years and 13 matches, they've finally beaten the team from White Hart Lane, and deservedly so, to gain a precious 3 points that nudges them closer and closer to safety. Thomas Gravesen was outstanding at the heart of Everton's midfield, in particular in an outstanding Everton first half. Unsworth, Naismith, Yobo were all on target, and although inevitably it was a bit of an anti-climax from Everton's point of view in the second half, and Spurs got a goal back, a very good goal too by Stephen Carr, when the same player was red-carded, Tottenham's slim hopes disappeared as he disappeared down the tunnel. A good night for the Goodison faithful on Good Friday. Everton have beaten Spurs by 3-1.
That first 45 minutes, the best of your season so far?
I think as regards to closing down and work rate and creating chances and actually finishing the chances, it was a great display. Yeah, second half, they came at us, they kept the ball really well, but delighted. It was a big win for us tonight.
Thomas, why were you so good in that first 45?
I think we've been playing well over the last couple of games. We tried to create a lot of chances, and we worked tremendously hard. So I think it's in the team spirit the success lies.
David, it was almost like the Everton of last season, wasn't it?
Well, like Thomas just said, we've been playing quite well. We've been creating numerous chances, and our home form's been excellent throughout the season. It's just away from home that we haven't picked up as many points as we did last year, but on the whole it's a big win for us tonight, and hopefully now we can win a few more games and push up the league.
And you got Everton underway with the first goal. You sort of need it in, didn't you?
It just hit me, yeah. You just take a chance around the back post, and it just came off my right knee, but it's the start we wanted.
Thomas, it was a night when 3 defenders scored for you.
Yeah, we take any goal we can get, and we practice a lot in training to score goals, and I'm glad that they banged in with a couple of goals.
And Gary Naismith's free kick was a bit special, wasn't it?
Yeah, tremendous, but he's practicing every day in training as well, so it comes as no surprise that he scores.
Was it slightly difficult in the second half? You obviously don't want to concede what you've worked so hard to gain.
Yeah, we went on the pitch in the second half to score the 4th goal, and we had a couple of chances in the second half, but they had nothing to lose in the second half. And we've seen a couple of comebacks this season, so we didn't want to have that again. So that's why it was a little bit nervy in the second half.
Yeah, some of them involving Tottenham as well. David, it's not often that Everton beat Tottenham, is it?
No, our record's not great against them, but tonight, like I said, keep reiterating, it's a big win for us. Gives us a little bit of breathing space now, and hopefully we can go on and enjoy the rest of the season.
Leeds next, a victory there will take you on to 40 points. Do you think that'll be enough?
Well, you never know until it's until it's mathematically certain. So Leeds have been doing quite well at home, but we won there last year, so hopefully we'll do that again.
Well done tonight. Thomas is the Barclaycard man of the match.
Thomas. Thanks. Different place. Well done, mate.
3 goals, 3 points. Happy start to the Easter period for you?
Yeah, not half. I mean, it was a terrific 45 minutes, especially in the first half for us. You know, the players got about their jobs and closed them down and put Tottenham under a lot of pressure. And to come in 3-0 up's a sort of manager's dream, really.
It's sometimes difficult when you are 3 up at the interval to kick on in the second 45, isn't it?
It is, and I think this season especially, excuse me, you only need to look at some of the results recently in Europe and even in the league. You know, 3-0 sometimes isn't enough, and strangely enough we were talking about that the other day, that you know, football's changing so much that teams have got so many attacking ploys that you know, you lose 1 goal and you can go on to lose 3 quite quickly. So I was determined tonight to make sure that the players didn't concede a goal. Unfortunately we did, but at least we still come away with the 3 points.
Yeah, Spurs will vouch for that. 3 defenders on the score sheet for you as well, a little unusual.
Well, hopefully, you know, that saves it up for the forwards for another game, because you know they need to score the goals really. But if defenders score goals, you know, we all take them, whether it be from headers, from corner kicks or free kicks. But tonight I was pleased with them all. I thought their attitude and their work rate tonight was wonderful, as much as we're play as well.
David, your home form is very good, you know, considering your position in the league. What's the matter away from home? Why can't you take those performances on the road?
Well, recently, George, we've done quite well away from home. We were poor at Newcastle on Saturday as far as our defending went. But if you'd actually seen the game, we played well. And on another day, we could have come away with Newcastle with at least a point. And we've been at Southampton, we've been at Leicester and drawn, when probably in both games we lost goals in the last minute, which would have seen us get some more points. But away from home, it's been disappointing, because last season, you know, we had a good record. We were hard to beat. We nicked a goal. We won the games. But this year we've just not been quite as solid as that, and probably in the end not defended as well as we should have done.
And David, last season, your first full season, you finished 7th. This year has been a bit more rocky. What do you sort of see yourself doing in the summer?
Well, you know, first and foremost, George, I want to get those points that make sure that I can talk about a Premier League club again, and I'm sure we will be. We've got players here who certainly are good enough for that. But I do think that, you know, we need to try and make some changes if we can. The finances are really tight, so it will be another sort of tight season for us, working with the budget we've got. But I'm determined to try and move it on. I don't want to be standing in the touchline another season going through some of the performances we had this season. I'm determined that won't happen again.
What about James McFadden, who you played up front? How do you feel he coped?
I thought James done very well. He's a terrific prospect, and you know, I think we've got 2 of the best prospects in the country here, in Wayne and James McFadden. They're both very young. You know, James is 20 and Wayne's only 18. So I think we've got some players for the future here. What we need to do is add some more to that, and hopefully we'll move on. But James tonight I thought was terrific, because he can play wide, he can play up front, and I think just in the end he just tired in the last 20-30 minutes.
You're up to 37 points, you've got Leeds next. Is it a case now of looking up rather than over your shoulder?
Well, I've been saying all along that I think we should be, because I do believe if we win the next 6 games, I think we could get the same points total as we had last year. So why should we not be positive and try and get there? Whether we do is another thing, but I'm determined to try and get us into the top half of the league, because I certainly believe the players here are good enough for that position. But your league position doesn't lie.
And in all honesty, will you be quite happy when you are safe and the season comes to an end? Has it been a bit of a grind for you just recently?
I'd be lying if I said it hadn't been. And yes, I will be delighted when we get the points to make sure we're safe. I think tonight goes a long way to doing that. But again, you know, I think Everton should be better than that. I don't think we should be a side which are struggling year in, year out. And I know, with the exception of last year, that has probably been the case. But I think we need to try and turn that around. And, you know, what do? Do you keep it going and put up with it? I don't want to put up with it. I want to try and be managing one of the teams at the top end of the league.
Well, you've sent out a positive message tonight. Thanks for talking to us.
Tuesday's grey and Wednesday too. Thursday, I don't care about you.